Hello everyone, I'm Colin Weber with Remarks with Republicans. Today I will be interviewing Norine Hammond. She is in 94th District in the House of Representatives. Remarks with Republicans is starting right now. What inspired you to run for state representative in Illinois?
My inspiration, Colin, came from my predecessor, Representative Rich Myers. I worked for Representative Myers as his legislative aide for about 14 years. He unfortunately passed away suddenly from cancer. Before he did, he was my main inspiration and encouragement. He said that he felt that I was ready for the position and gave me his full support, and I've been at it ever since.
As a woman in state politics, have there been unique challenges or opportunities you've experienced?
I wouldn't say so much a challenge as a woman. Perhaps the challenge arises more at home. You have to have the support from your family, and oftentimes women that think about getting into politics maybe aren't sure that they have that at home, or they feel like they should be doing this in the home or this in the community. But I think it does offer some unique opportunities for women. We have a tendency to think things through maybe a little differently than some of our male counterparts.
Who are some leaders, past and present, who've influenced your leadership style?
A couple of women in particular come to mind. Senator Laura Donahue, former Senator Laura Donahue, is certainly one. I remained a great friend of Laura's, and I watched her as she went through her career in politics, and always aspired to do the same kind of outreach that she always did. Judy Bartopinka, a former Illinois treasurer, she was a great mentor of mine, and just a woman with a steamroller attachment, I would say. So she would be one. And then our current House Republican leader, Tony McCombie. I have been on either serving with four Republican leaders, or one under former Representative Myers, and I see Tony as an incredible leader. She is everywhere that she needs to be, and takes the challenge on with vim and vigor.
What do you want young girls to know about getting involved in the government?
Do it. Get involved. Start at the local level, get a feel for what it's like, and don't let anything hold you.
What does a conservative Republican woman mean to you?
It means the world to me. I grew up with parents that instilled great values in their children, and I think that carrying forward those traditions of hard work and dedication and honesty are important.
What are the top issues facing Illinois that you believe need immediate attention?
I think the biggest one is our property taxes, because they are completely out of control. We have too much of a burden on our communities to pay for many of the things that we as a state should be looking at and giving some property tax relief to the taxpayers. I was disappointed this year that in our education budget that we did not include the property tax break that is normally included every year. And that is a big concern. People in Illinois are struggling not only to pay their property taxes, but to provide for their families.
How would you address the rising cost of living and out-migration from Illinois?
I think we need to look at that situation and get serious about why we are seeing this out-migration. I think a lot of it is certainly our property taxes across the state. Many people say that that's their number one reason for leaving. And certainly as we continue to make business decisions and how we can encourage business, not pay for business, but encourage business in the state, those are property taxpayers, those are taxpayers, and the more we can encourage that and the more we have businesses that can survive and can grow, the better our tax base will be, and it will lessen the burden on individuals.
What are your thoughts on parental rights in education and recent school board issues?
Absolutely, parents' rights come first. We, as a state, should not be making decisions that parents should be allowed to make. And certainly we saw this year with the homeschoolers. And I was so proud of the family that do school their children and how they turned out to let it be known how they felt about it, and they wanted the government out of their education for their kids.
How can Illinois better support working families, small businesses, and farmers?
I think that all comes with incentives. It starts with easing the burden of regulation on our businesses. In Illinois, it takes about twice as long as our neighboring state of Iowa to license a business and get them up and running, and that's strictly because of all the regulations that we put in place. So I think if we begin to look at that and we ease them in such a way that it promotes growth, then that will certainly help invigorate that climate of business.
What are your goals for improving public safety in Illinois?
Well, I think we could start with getting rid of the so-called Safety Act. I think it's been proven that it is not helping our communities. It is not helping our law enforcement. And I think that that's the number one step that we need to take.
How do state-level decisions in Illinois connect to national conversation on freedom, faith, and family?
I think we're seeing more and more of that with our current administration at the federal level. We are being challenged at every level, and certainly we are at the state level with the decisions that are being made at the federal level to incentivize our states and our local communities to do what's right by the residents. And we see that challenge certainly from the other side of the aisle on a daily basis when we're in Springfield and even when we're back in our districts.
What do you think the Republican Party needs to focus on in the next election cycle?
I think first and foremost it's unity, Colin. We as a party have a history of infighting and airing our dirty laundry in public, if you will. And that needs to be the first focus for us, is to bring our party unity together and bring our values together, recognizing that the state has very diverse interests throughout, and we need to incentivize our Republican colleagues to get involved and hear the voices of people they represent.
What are your opinion on federal outreach into state decisions? Where should the line be drawn?
I think that we need to recognize first and foremost that every state is different. The residents of those states are different. I think the federal government can lead us in a way, and yet at the end of the day, I think the federal government also needs to step back and say, now it's your time. And you know your residents best, but as long as we are working in unison to keep our residents safe and keep our economy prosperous, I think that's most important.
Are there any national politics or movements that concern you when it comes to Illinois' future?
Yes, very much so. I think that we are seeing from our Democrat colleagues constant attacks on this administration, and the federal administration. And we have got to get to a point where we stop, we recognize that people have vested interests in their community, and we need to work in partnership with the federal government to move that forward.
What message do you have for young conservatives across the country?
My message to young conservative is don't give up and grow your base. We are seeing that throughout the nation, and certainly throughout Illinois. We even see a large movement within the city of Chicago and Cook County with more and more conservatives stepping forward. And we saw that in this past election. And I think that whatever we do, we need to encourage those folks. Yes, stand up for your conservative values, and don't be afraid to voice them publicly.
What advice would you give to a young person, especially a young woman who wants to get into politics?
Say go for it. The world is yours. You have to, first and foremost, have it in your heart. And secondly, you need to be able to do the work, because there's a lot of work involved.
How can families and students learn more about the state government and get involved?
Lots of ways to do that. First, making a trip to Springfield. Oftentimes when I talk with students and I ask for a show of hands on who has been to the Capitol previously, many times they don't raise their hand because they've never been there. I think it's important for students to come to Springfield, see the legislature in work, attend committee meetings, attend session on the floor, and get involved. And then also, the decisions that we make in Springfield have a direct effect on young people. And so there is a witness slip that can be filled out for legislation, and I would encourage students at all rates to fill out those witness slips, especially now. It doesn't matter what age you are. You may not be a voting age, but certainly a lot of what we're doing is affecting you.
What role has your family played in supporting your career in public service?
My family has been an incredible support team for me. My husband and my daughter both. Oftentimes, as large as the district is, there are events at all ends of the district. My husband's in one direction and I go in the other. We call it divide and conquer. It works.
What's something about your district that you think the rest of Illinois should know?
I think the large agricultural base in the district that I represent is fascinating, to say the least. Particularly in Mason County, there are a lot of specialty crops that are grown. Del Monte has a big presence over there, and there's green beans, there's pumpkins, there's all kinds of different varieties in the agriculture field and certainly in agribusiness.
How do you stay grounded while balancing public service and everyday life?
I think a lot of that is based in my faith. I am very faith-based in what I do, and couple that with the support that I get from my family, and it helps me to certainly stay grounded. And when you see the laundry basket full that needs to be done, that'll bring you down to ground level in an instant.
Favorite female historical figure?
Oh, that's kind of a difficult one. I think that there are a number of them, but I go back to Judy Bartopinka and what she did for the state of Illinois, and the values that she brought to Illinois politics is pretty incredible. And I would add to that Barbara Bush. I recently read a book on her life, and she was an incredible woman and a very strong woman, and having all of those very strong men in her family, she held her own.
Best campaign trail snack?
Ooh, that might be a little difficult for me since I can't have gluten, but I think Kind bars are kind of my go-to.
High heels or flats at the calf?
Absolutely flats. I started out my career doing high heels, and I learned in a hurry that that doesn't get you there as quick as you need to be there.
What's always in your work bag?
A phone charger is always in my work bag, first and foremost, and a snack, just in case it's a long day and you don't have time for a meal, you can grab something just to keep you going.
Bill you're most proud to support?
I recently, a couple of years ago, passed a bill that insurance companies would cover protein beam therapy or cancer treatments. I had a pushback for it. It took me 3 years to get it done, but I never lost focus, and eventually I got everybody to the table and we could all agree that when it was deemed to be medically necessary, that treatment would be offered and covered by insurance.
Favorite patriotic song?
Bless America. No question.
One word to describe Illinois women.
Tenacious and focused.
Go-to campaign fix, coffee, tea, or Diet Coke?
I would say coffee.
Favorite quote that keeps you motivated?
My dad would always have a great saying, and he said many, many times in our lives, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And it's always stuck with me.
If you could pass one law tomorrow, what would it be?
Property tax relief for residents.
Thanks for speaking with me.
Thank you, Colin. I appreciate it so much.